Welcome again to Gene Ho. And Gene, I hope you've had a good weekend. You're
Yes, it's the weekend before our Fourth of July celebrations, which is going to be massively big in the United States. So it was a very nice, very busy weekend, but also some time to relax a little bit.
well, yes, I mean, you've got this massive event, and George Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, and Roosevelt will be looking down on you.
Well, here's the thing: the last time that Donald Trump gave a speech in South Dakota, Mount Rushmore, this was in 2020, and I was there. Uh, America was in a fever pitch because it was just like it was wonderful. So many people there. I spent the whole week there. I was also the photographer for the campaign for Donald Trump Jr., and it was a wonderful festival. The whole week was just amazing. So this is the first time even fireworks were allowed in Mount Rushmore. And George Magazine, we've been saying this for the longest time that Donald Trump would be there, and he finally made the announcement this week or late last week that he would be there. I think it was on Friday. It's just amazing.
Well, there's only 4,800 people, according to our records here, that are allowed to go. Is that because of the fire risk?
No, no, it's Mount Rushmore. It looks very monumental, but when you actually go there, you have Mount Rushmore, and there's only an enclosed little space area that you could actually put seats there. So there's only it's I won't say it looks more monumental, I would say, in pictures and so forth. I mean, it's breathtaking when you go there, but the area is very small, and so just so you know, hotel rooms in that area have been closed off for I don't even know how long there, in expectation of all the events. And it's wonderful to see the president actually announce that he will be there, and with the new Air Force One as well.
Yeah, and that's a bit special, they tell me. There's one or two of our journalists been on board that aeroplane, and they were not allowed at this stage to take any photographs. But it's something else. I mean, even for a journalist, you've got a seat bed that will fully recline. It's like the Hilton.
Yeah, yeah. I have been on Donald Trump's personal plane. We used to call it Trump Force One, and in there, it's beautiful inside. Uh, Leather seats, white leather seats, or cream, however you want to say that. Embroidered seats is beautiful. But the interesting thing, Ronnie, about this new Air Force One, of course, you know, it was a gift from the Qatari government. They had to basically strip it and then refinish it with the electronics. It's almost like a big Faraday bag, if you ever know what that is, where it prevents MP attacks and
Yeah.
protects the electronics. They had to refit the whole thing, and people are shocked that they got it done in time for the Fourth of July
Mm.
celebration. So expect a flyover as well over Mount Rushmore with the new Air Force One.
And interestingly, up there in Mount Rushmore, I believe the rock that these are carved out of is granite. So, in other words, they're going to be there forever. In the United Kingdom, we have sandstone and limestone, and even if it rains on those, it's soon denuded.
Yes, well, there's a lot of chatter. A lot of people in the United States wants to have Donald Trump's uh, image up there on the other side of it. Of course, they're saying that it can't be done. It can't be done, but we'll
Yeah,
see about that. Americans, if they find something, they will find a way to do it. So we'll
yeah.
we'll see what happens with that.
Well, the Dems will be in favour of that, no doubt. Going back to the Donald, I mean, you've had a lot. I didn't realize you've written a book about your experiences with him.
Yes, yes. You know what? Actually, while I'm here doing this, there's two publications out right now. This is one of them, and I wrote this book. You can get it at georgeonline.com, but it's mostly, if you see, mostly written stories with some pictures there. But it's all the stories you can get that there. But also, right now for the celebration, we have America's 250th, and these are some of the never seen before images of Donald Trump that never got, some of them never got out in the public, but we're releasing them now.
Yeah.
And so you can get that. It's a wonderful reminder of history. And also, there are a lot of these pictures where Donald Trump is actually, around here, if you can believe it, would do events with maybe 70 people in the room, 75 people in the room. It was just fascinating how it just grew into this, what we have now as a great American president.
Well, you've had personal experience of this, haven't you? You weren't very well on one occasion, and he came to your rescue.
Yeah, well, here's the thing with all this stuff with Donald Trump. After the first campaign, I still took pictures with the president as him as president of the United States. So we have a wonderful portrait that we did of that. And then in 2020, I loved it because I spent time with on the campaign with Donald Trump Jr., which was a lot more relaxed. It reminded me of the days when we first started. uh, Secret Service was a lot more calm, I should say. It wasn't as intense as the president of the United States. And of course, now editor in chief of George Magazine. The only thing that one thing that I don't get tired of is I used to travel all around the world, travel around the country for several years, and now I'm more of a homebody. I'll enjoy the fireworks from my TV screen nowadays.
Well, there, that's good. 250 years. It's passed in a very quick trice. America has gone from strength to strength. Now, America is famous for immigration, but of the people that have helped the country, Europe now is going through a similar process, but it's not the same quality of people coming in.
Yes, one of the things that Donald Trump did, I'm not sure what the latest is with the Supreme Court, whether they said it was illegal or not. So I'm going to speak not knowing all the facts on this. But Donald Trump had a visa, very expensive to buy. I don't even quote me what it was, but it's very, very expensive. And it was designed for tech companies to bring the best and the brightest into America. I hate to say that you could buy your way in, but it's so expensive, and the money goes to the United States government. But it's so expensive that means that that a company that wants these people in the United States can get them in. Yes, they have to pay a price, a premium, which America gets. But America is looking for more people. We just want the best and brightest, the people that will be a help to this country. Any way you want to say that, or I know it sounds funny saying it that way, but that's what we want in America. We want people that are going to be assets to the country, no matter how it is.
Yep. The midterms, he's gearing himself up to this. It's so important to get the right people in the House and the Senate. And AI is very much involved in all this, isn't it, Gene? It's a bit scary, actually.
Well, right now, what we're facing in America, and I know this because I see my social media feeds and I see the talk, there is a lot of fear of AI. Now, this is an orchestrated campaign of fear from other countries. A lot of people think that AI is just about chatbots, and then you go there, and then, which I use it all the time for a recipe. 7-pound roast at 200 degrees, how much do I leave it in there for? All this is calculated on AI chatbots, and it's wonderful. But AI goes further than that. It's about national security, because the new weaponry takes a lot of data, and it takes data center, and we want these data centers in the United States. This is how the future of warfare, really. The new jet plane, the F-47, is already being built. It will be flanked by up to, I believe, 6 drones that, using AI, one drone could just like fight here, another fight there, and it all works as one. But this is all AI technology, and that's why it's so important in America. And there's a lot of fear mongering right now with it.
Yeah. Now, this may be an excuse from the point of view of the Royal Navy in Britain, But they've suddenly decided a couple of days ago they're not going to build any more destroyers and boats because it's a waste of time now that the drone has got so sophisticated. So they're building special boats that will take drones both defensively and offensively. Is this going on in the States as well?
No, you have to remember. Well, let me say it this way. Remember the USS Abraham Lincoln. I believe this Abraham Lincoln is a aircraft carrier. When it
Yeah.
went into the Gulf, there were approximately 200 missiles from the Iranian government that tried to strike it. Each one of those was struck down with the boats. Now, when it comes to the Navy, like I don't know Great Britain what they need and what they don't need, but with the United States, it has been very crucial to have a powerful Navy. If you remember, they're the ones who did the blockade of Venezuela. They're the ones that went there and are patrolling and blockading, or did blockade the Strait of Hormuz. So for the United States of America, the Navy is still top notch in what they're doing. Of course, one of the leaders in drone technology is Ukraine, and they have an amazing program. And the United States and Ukraine is working together to strengthen our drone system, and I would imagine the defense of it.
The other thing that's a bit scary, and this is again coming out of Europe, is that is your television, is your computer, is your mobile phone listening to you? Because there's been some information, and I don't know. For instance, you may be wanting to buy a new bed, and you're discussing this between husband and wife, and suddenly you're flooded with advertisements about a new bed. Is this happening in the States?
Oh, I very much so. When we used, even before I got into politics, I had a photography studio with and my staff was there, and we talked about that. And one day we're like, just purposely saying it. Oh, I could really use a Bahamas cruise. I could really use a cruise. I need a vacation. And we purposely said it just to see what would happen with our advertisements. And it is shocking. And what the most thing that we can't understand, and I don't know how it's done, but we have, my wife has actually sat there and not even said anything, but thought about what she wanted to buy. It would have to do with a living room set or something. I don't know how that technology works at all. And sure enough, it was on there, like the advertisements. I do not know if it's I know it sounds crazy to say that they're reading minds. I know that, but I'm still, to this day, I don't know how it that does it. Maybe that we're scanning the internet and then we see a home set and we stay a little bit longer to look at that. I don't know. I really don't know how they do that.
Well, certainly a lot of social media asks you, do you want your microphone turning off or on? And that may be a way of getting to listen to what is actually going on. Because when I'm confronted with this, I always ask one question. Have you been online and tried to get information over this particular product? And they say, no, honestly, we've not. So the only other way it could be would be from listening.
Oh, there's also been times for my work, if I am sitting here working on a story on modern day divorce rates and so forth, I warn my wife. I say, by the way, I've been on these sites, so if you suddenly see divorce lawyers and everything on your thing, listen, I had to do it for work. So
Yes.
it's amazing the technology that they have, but it's what.
We'll regard that as an excuse, Gene, and move on. And we're thinking here of various things. One is deep fake fatigue. And this is something similar to what we've just been speaking about, because people are very suspicious about what is happening on social media in general. They've sussed it out. It's either lies, misleading. I mean, some people have put 90% on this. Forget it, it's rubbish. They're only selling snake oils.
Rodney, just the way it is. I personally don't have cable TV anymore. I had for a while something called YouTube Premium, where I got all these channels, but it was very expensive. It was like $75 US dollars a month. I just like, that's too expensive. So I spend a lot of time on TikTok, the dogs that drive the cars that are AI, and I'll be honest, I find them pretty entertaining. it's it's amazing what they could do nowadays with that AI intelligence.
We're moving on and we're going to discuss anti-socialism. And I've got to be honest, Gene, and say, wow, bring it over to Europe, especially the UK. Again, has it been sussed before it's done too much damage? It has done a lot of damage in the United Kingdom, and it's going to do more damage. What's happening with the new president-elect of United Kingdom, Andy Burnham?
Yeah, well, in America, what happened is almost a socialist takeover in New York during the last election of who they elected there. Now, one of the things that has a benefit of it is these socialists are so far left on that side that there is a lot of fatigue. It's actually, I'll be honest, for the Democrats, it's not a good thing, because with some Democrats, even they don't want this type of government socialism. We have a saying in here at George Magazine. We call the ones left of center, we call them Kennedy Democrats, and these are the ones that really we want more of America, and quite frankly, that is more appealing to the overall base. Someone may be left, but just center left. Kennedy Democrats there. But the more they have it where the extreme left is not a good thing for the party. Quite frankly, just as on the right, the extreme right, which we are now calling the woke right, that's a little bit too much. And then too much of that, the electorate, even the Democrats are like, that's a little bit too far. Even the Republicans as well.
Things are getting more aggressive. I've just been sent some Vox Pops from New York, in actual fact. And it's talking about threats and actual events that have happened when CEOs of companies have been actually killed because of their profitable stance, if you wish.
Right.
This can happen in the medical world, can't it?
Right. The what's going on in America is I believe his name is Luigi Mangione, who shot down a CEO, an insurance CEO, right in the middle of the street of New York in broad daylight. Now, Donald Trump has already denounced this. In America, we do not need a group of vigilantes, even though some might have issues with the insurance companies, and I don't blame them, even though some may have issues with the medical community, and I don't blame them either for some of these things. I don't agree with them. But in America, we can't have it that people are being made into folk heroes for killing, if it is he's going on trial, so allegedly, killing CEOs. So this is what's being played out right now in real time. I know that Donald Trump has already denounced that as not a good thing. Like that, we don't need this in America where we're shooting down CEOs.
Well, what shocks me about this, 70% of those interviewed with the Vox Pop situation, there's the microphone, what's your opinion? 70% said he deserved it.
Oh, now, like I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. In America, there is a sense of well, we're celebrating the 250th birthday of rebellion and throwback of what to correct wrongs. That's how Americans feel about it, but that's not necessarily what's best for America when we have this feel of instant justice, so to speak. And this is part of what people do. They turn some of these people into folk heroes for standing up against the so-called evil establishment, so to speak, quote unquote.
Yeah, okay. Understood, not approved of, but understood. Now, are you watching the soccer?
Nah, okay, this I'm not speaking for a whole country here. I really am not. But America is about football and baseball. That's it. I mean, yes, if okay, let's do it this way. If Americas were dominating the World Cup, absolutely we'll be all in on it. And it's happening right in America. But I am telling you, and I'm here, there is no buzz of here. No one's saying, wow, we have the World Cup and so forth. It's just not that big at all in America. We are still we're in baseball and football mode. So,
Interesting, interesting. I'll tell you what is very interesting, and that is what we've heard from the Dutch football fans, traveling a long way, paying a lot of money to see these games. And they've flooded Kansas City and other teams of other nationalities, other cities. But they are staggered when they go into the suburbs. Now, not usually on a holiday do you go into the suburbs of a city, but they're looking at the houses, how well kept they are, how the streets are clean, how quiet it is, how big the houses are. And they're saying, wow, it's miles away from Europe, where we're crowded, small, busy streets. And they're saying, oh, who is living the better? Those in America or those in Europe?
well, in the United States, we have a very similar thing. I've been in New York many times, and it's a bustling city, and there's a lot of exciting things to do. Getting some great food is just a walk down the street. It's fascinating, quite frankly. But in America, we also have the vast majority is very conservative and very homebody, if I could say. It's about middle of America, and I've lived in both sides of it. I spent time in both ends of it, and so it's interesting that dilemma. It's most of the people I see living in the big city says, "Well, I can never live your lifestyle," and likewise, the ones living here will look at the city and say they can't live that way either. Me living both, I will tell you, I love the open space of living rather than the busy city life.
But you'd get bored, perhaps, Gene, if you didn't have the buzz of the big city.
Like I said, I fully enjoyed it. When I spent the times I spent in New York, to be able to wake up in the morning and just start walking around, get your day started that way, it's wonderful. But at the same time, I think America is finally moving towards the middle of the city. When I up outside the city, when I was growing up, this is in the '80s. Everyone dreamed of Miami Vice and getting a condo on the ocean and near the ocean in Miami. That was the American dream back then. But before that was a white picket fence. Of course, you might remember that. But I think now that it's gone back the other way, where people want to live in a place with some land and grow some food.
Are you nervous in the streets of New York? Because lots of people are in London now.
Wow, you know what? Last time I went to New York, I think it was during the Trump administration. Uh, it was very difficult because a long time ago, Rudy Giuliani cleaned up the streets in New York, and he really did a good job on it. I haven't been there lately, but actually, surprisingly, New York, even with Madami as a uh, mayor there, it's really not as scary as most people want to believe it is. But I could imagine in the big cities and maybe in London it is. I know there's some parts of the United States and big cities that people don't want to go in there, but overall, the city life is marvelous in the United States.
That's great. We've just had homicide statistics given to us, the difference between Europe and the States. Where we are here now in the south of Spain, it's literally the Beverly Hills of Europe. But there
Right.
are certain problems, and that is the drug scene and limpiando dinero, washing money basically, money laundering, and there are murders here. And people get worried because they can go to a restaurant and suddenly bang, 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 and people are dead. That is
Uh,
gang warfare.
Yeah, listen, I grew up in New York City in Chinatown, or went going to Chinatown there in the times of the Asian gangs, and that was the same thing. It was like you never know if they someone didn't pay the protection money, and a Chinese restaurant would be shot up. But nowadays in the United States, it's a big war on these on the drug trade. Uh, the Trump administration has done much with that, and obviously, I'm not 100% sure, but a lot of it went underground. It's not people standing in street corners anymore. They have a complete system of codes and so forth with different delivery drivers that do this. It's a whole new game out there compared to in the olden days in New York, where you have people standing on street corners selling drugs. I don't think it's like that anymore. A lot of it's done underground.
Yeah, of course, the locals here are losing out when they want to buy a house because suddenly they put in a bid for a house, maybe $2 million as an example. And somebody comes along the following day and gives 2.5 million. But that's a way of washing the money scene. And it affects the ordinary Joe.
Oh, America is filled with these money laundering schemes of how they do that. It's they have it down to a science with a lot of these things. Um, there is still corruption, government corruption, where these people are laundering money through hotels or dilapidated hotels because they have these rooms and they're just saying, okay, this room was rented out, this room was rented out, but we're a small business here, and they pay cash, and then it's laundered in. Uh, it's been going on. The science behind and the creativity behind money laundering in the United States is very similar to what you're saying. They got very elaborate with their schemes.
It's come to Spain, especially with the digital ID. Your bank manager tells you here how much cash you can draw out of an ATM. Don't draw more than that out because the government will take notice. And it's not a big amount. Has that spread to the States yet?
Oh, in the United States, we have laws on that. It's called structuring. For example, because I forgot what the number was. I think 10,000. But if you make withdrawals underneath that, what people to try to skirt it will do is like, okay, this one's 9,000, this one is 9,000, this one's 9,000, and do it that way. That's called structuring, and that's illegal. And that's another way that they try to fall underneath the radar. Unfortunately, that's what's going on. The Trump administration, and especially with Cash Patel, is zoning in on the other form of it, the laundering and through illicit Bitcoin trades that fund some of these drug deals. The United States have done a lot with that as well. So these are problems that the United States and the Trump administration is continuing to work on.
Ian, thank you so much. Been fascinating as usual. We'll see you very shortly.
Thank you so much. And I want to thank your viewership as well, and appreciate them. And to make sure you go to georgemagazine.com.